When I tell you that I have a very interesting program lined up for you tonight, it is an understatement. It is extremely interesting. I am going to be featuring Isat Buchanan, loose mouth Isat Buchanan, the man who likes to abuse the Jamaican people, but don't want to abuse his colleagues in the parliament. I don't think that he likes very much to be abused, and so I think he's afraid that if he push up his head too much at the parliament, they might turn down on him, right? So he don't want to abuse them. Let me tell you what he actually said. I would never disrespect anybody in this house to say nobody have sense. I don't believe that. And you're going to hear in this video him disrespecting the people of this country. He complained about what he calls condescending remarks about them being the new breed. And yet he was condescending in his remarks about the people. He don't seem to think that anything is wrong with that. You're going to hear the hatefulness and the snobbery of ordinary people. So when you hear him talking about uptown and downtown, all of that is just a show. When you hear him style people, talking about students' loan, people, you're going to hear all of that and how him talk about people. This is a very loose mouth young man. Him is not a politician. Him shouldn't be in the parliament. A politician is diplomatic and know what to say and what not to say, even if it is different from what he's actually thinking. Him don't seem to be able to control his mouth. And you're going to hear all of that. But it is the disjointed, irrational organization of his thoughts as he spoke on the program that I found shocking. And when persons pause to make a few, comments about him saying that him don't like bathing, I was surprised that that is what they noticed and failed to notice how the man's brain was functioning. It was not functioning properly. Something is wrong with this young fellow. His discussion didn't make sense. He was all over the damn place. He just was rattling on and was moving from one topic to the next. And it's not like they were running into topics that were related. They were totally unrelated. He was absolutely irrational. And you guys missed it. I'm surprised that nobody noticed it. But I'm going to play it and you're going to hear it for yourself. I am going to play his full comments that he made in the parliament when he fling Nikisha Burchell under the bus, although on the program he was trying to make out that he was defending her. Well, when you listen good and you tell me if you hear any defense of Nikisha Burchell in his comments. Matter of fact, none of the PMP members defended Nikisha Burchell. None. Which would suggest that they were tired of her and her damn foolishness that she going on in the parliament. So they didn't defend her. None jumped to them feet and defended her. And he didn't. But the risers them have him under pressure because of what he said. So him come on this program now, trying to see how him can fix it. And as far as I can make out, he made it worse. You're going to have to listen to him very, very carefully. And no, this is not high intellect. This is somebody that is being irrational. And what it is that irrational means? Not based on reason, clear thinking, or logic. And that is what you're going to hear. So it necessitates you listening very carefully to what is being said. But with all of the irrational statements that he had made, during the interview, he delivered a bombshell. A bombshell, not only exposing his party members, but also exposing his own leader. And how is it possible for him to have said what he had said and nobody noticed it? It's beyond me.
And I have personally taken a position and leave it to my seniors who have the backbone way bigger than mine. Because you see, me is the least among them in that parliament. Yeah? That has a sense of decorum because I was trained by the Privy Council and I've appeared before the King's Privy Council. So I have a sense of understanding of respecting even when nobody respects you. What I will say though is they must come to the times and come to reality and know that respect for all members of parliament is owed. And certainly, whilst I'm on my feet, I'm not taking disrespect from nobody because I don't disrespect nobody. And then when I rise to my feet, I have something to say. And there's a urging because I would have seen members of parliament on the other side get up and they don't even know what standing order they're making point of order on. And they are given deference. And it's a conversation to have. And we can have a conversation about blackness. We can have a conversation about representation for women. Because right now, when I invite people to go look what my contribution is, was this girl fight thing going on in the parliament should be embarrassed. And then people will say you're misogynistic if you said perhaps. And look how they're going to cut this and mix me up. If you say perhaps, women are not ready to enter parliament, because they can't get along with each other. It's no place for governance. Because their squabble and beef and disrespect for each other as women, right, has caused somebody to say, oh, please, Isat, we all know you like the speaker, but she respect the opposition members. I don't even know what that is. So
When I heard him say what he said here about maybe women are not ready to enter parliament, some persons would have taken offense. I just rather look at him as extraordinarily stupid.
and then people will say you're misogynistic if you said perhaps. And look how they're going to cut this and mix me up. If you say perhaps, women are not ready to enter parliament, because they can't get along with each other. It's no place for governance.
If you say perhaps women are not ready to enter parliament, not ready to enter, as if this is some country where women are not in the parliament. And now you're letting one or two and you're discovering that, boy, look like to have a workout, them just love fight against one another. The men don't fight against one another. You men get on very well in the parliament. Who is shouting across the floor at you or anybody and telling us enough to shut up or enough to sit down? Or who are telling us to do that? We're not getting along? And because we're not getting along as men over upon the PNP or JLP side, should we say that we're not ready for parliament? As far as I know, every single parliament since 1945, nearly 100 years, have had women in it. So when he said that perhaps women are not ready for parliament, you understand what I'm telling you when I said this man sound like a madman in a clean clothes? Absolutely and totally irrational. What's going on here? Is it that he was having a breakdown? Is it that he has some kind of mental issues? What's going on? Listen to the difference of when he was in the parliament. How calm, collected, and rational he sounded. And then I'm going to go back to the Perry Cummings Jr. show, and then you can hear him again.
Was in this parliament that have brought a new dynamic to the parliament in a positive light. I will only say to my colleagues on both sides that, when it comes to mentorship, when it comes to doing the right thing, when it comes to a sense of integrity, which is doing the right thing when nobody is watching, the political pageantry is preventing us from advancing the business of Jamaica. Yes.
You heard that? You heard the heavy knocking and the absolutely, absolutely. From the Labour Party side, you have one and two was knocking the desk on the PNP side, but those were little taps. Except for Chris Brown, who was sitting beside him. Look good again. So the Labour Party found favor in what it is that he was saying, right? So you can imagine how that vexed the risers.
The business of Jamaica. Yes, in relation to in relation to when race, culture, gender, all of these things are significant because we are reflections of out of many one. I have raised in private that there is serious dislike for how women are treated in this parliament, including from the elder to the younger. If we bring race into it, if we bring politics, all of this is something that is detracting from the best contributions that can come from each and every one of us. The standing orders, nonetheless, is something, even as it is being amended, revamped, reviewed, with a view to improve the parliament, I'm inviting all members to take time to actually look what is inside the standing orders. This is an indictment on the entire parliament to which I am a part of. It makes us, when young people stop me and say, MP, what is going on? Why are you trying to tell us that we are to respect ourselves when there's no respect? And it's individually and it is collectively. I am only urging members, because this is not to single out any one member or to differentiate from the speaker. We all got a mandate to be here. The respect that is to come from all of us is one where we appreciate that as we make our contributions, sometimes if we listen, we're saying the same things. Sometimes if we take a minute to look what is inside the standing orders, maybe we wouldn't be so quick to oppose. Maybe we wouldn't be so quick to think that we have to participate and say something. And it can be most embarrassing when at the end of it, there is something that is called internal locus of control and external locus of control. We are individuals, and I can say this, I would never disrespect anybody in this house to say nobody have sense. I don't believe that.
And I am sorry for butting in, but it is essential that all of you make a note of what he just said here. He said, I would never disrespect anybody in this house to say nobody have sense. I don't believe that. That was what he said. So he's telling you that whenever he says that anybody at all has no sense, he means it to be a disrespect, and he's saying that that is what he believes.
I can say this, I would never disrespect anybody in this house to say nobody have sense. I don't believe that. And because we have contributions to make in our own expertise, maybe if we sometimes wait until it reaches what we know, Damien is not here, but when math is on the floor, I sit. That type of exchange advances the country. There is a new dynamic where I think that emotions is ruling this parliament, and collectively, until it changes, we are the king's parliament. Collectively, both sides, opposition, government. And I will only say that the disrespect, whether it's on mic, off mic, it's heard in spaces, and it is most embarrassing. If we do a reset following the review of the standing orders, the hope is that the country's business can be done, and a lot of the time that is wasted, much ado about nothing, is something that maybe I will hear, Madam Speaker, can we suspend idleness and get on with the government's business? And that is my humble contribution. Thank you.
House Leader.
That was Isat Buchanan's contribution to the House when they were debating the proposal to amend the standing orders. So, having delivered himself of this, what some people call excellent speech in the parliament, Me not have to ask and me not have to tell you how the risers then carry on. And it seems to me that in response to the criticisms of him own side, the risers, then come a riser to yes. He went on this young man's program. What's his name now? Perry Cummings Jr. And there seems to me that he was attempting to respond and clarify the comments that he made in the parliament, so to speak. I went to let you listen, and then now I went butting every now and then I went tell you because it's necessary. The way him did a run on, and he was all over the place. The young man asked him one question, and he was all over the place with him responses, and some of my responses sound crazed. And when I get to that point, I'm going to stop and comment upon what it is that you're hearing. He's talking about things, and the things him talking about don't link with other things him a talk about. It's as if the man are mad out. In the clip I'm going to play for you, first up, you're going to hear a question that the host asked Isat Buchanan. And the question had included in it a misrepresentation of what happened in the parliament. The speaker in the parliament is like a judge in the court. You see, she have on her gown and she have a gavel. Yes. So when the speaker makes a ruling, that is it. If you have a problem and you think the speaker is wrong, the standing orders provide for you to move a motion to that effect. Them not want to do nothing. They just want to get up because they're damn lazy. They don't want to do what is necessary. They just want to get up and speak when they want to speak, and then them talk about the speaker is unfair. Nobody on the government side not doing that. And them alone are do it. They want to bully the speaker and tell the speaker how she should run the house. And them are not speaker. He sought to give the impression that Powell got up and spoke at a time when he had a right to speak. And the speaker shut him down because that's the only way the speaker would be wrong. Right? Nothing could be further from the truth. The speaker ruled that he was to speak during the public session. And that was going to come on. And then he could have risen to his feet and made his point, and then he would have gotten the explanation that it will be tabled the following week. If it's the annual report of the Integrity Commission he's talking about. And then the funny thing about it, that when the public session came along, he never got up to his feet and told the speaker what he wanted. So clearly it was not that important. And if it was not that important, why did he cause that disturbance in the House? You see them take the parliament for puppy show. It is a clown show and them are the star clown. Paul will look like enjoying the group too. These imbecilic risers, they believe that because they were elected by people, that entitles them to come to the House and speak when them want, what them want, and how them want, and for how long them want to talk. That's what them believe. Everybody that is in that house, they are equal, and they are entitled to equal time. Members, as far as me understand and the reading of the standing orders, the only time you are allowed to speak when you enter into that parliament, on the record that is if first you're doing the prayer. Second time is to answer your name in a roll call. The third time, if the minister should get up and make a statement, the opposition spokesperson can respond for a certain amount of time, and all other members can ask questions. After that, you can only speak on the record when there's a motion. If you move the motion or somebody else, or if there is a bill, motion moved to bring a bill to the House, you can speak on that too. And you can also get up and speak if you think that there is a point of order. During a debate, you can speak. First time in the parliament, you're sworn in. That's when you speak. And then there are times when you might want to second something or the other that is brought before the House. On the record, when you turn on the mic. And those are the only circumstances that as far as I understand it, that they can speak. Getting up and asking a question of the speaker isn't part of the deal. So if you have a question for the speaker, you pass it over to the leader of government business and see if him can answer or go get the clarification from the speaker behind the scenes and off the record. And what used to happen or what other speakers used to do is irrelevant. You have a speaker, the speaker is interpreting the standing orders, and she says she's going to go by the standing orders because she thinks that the standing order is good enough. And if all of you were simply to follow the standing order, everything would be fine. No, the speaker is not a lawyer who thinks she's soft, so no can bully her. That's all that there is to it.
Yesterday, there was a protest by the People's National Party's opposition because the leadership of opposition business was not being given an opportunity to be heard, and there was a knocking on the decks. We must be heard. We must be heard. I believe prior to that there was no a discussion surrounding a review of the standing orders, and several MPs shared concerns about the standing orders, how they are enforced. We're going to ask Isat Buchanan to tell us, what happened yesterday really and truly in terms of, the enforcement of the standing orders. What changes can we expect to the standing orders if he knows of that? The protest, that from Dalrymple said that the new breeds. We know that Isat Buchanan is one of the newest MPs. Yep.
Hold on. Isat Buchanan, yes, I am third generation from James Samuel's Portius. I am the son of Big Youth. And no inbreeding. Me's not a butu and a preke straggler. Yeah? Me's not a stregge. So let me tell you something. That's why there is time and place, and the Bible said there's a time to laugh and a time to cry and a time for act like a butu and a miscreant. I will say it here so people understand. And I responded. I don't know nobody class me as a breed. Yeah? Me a man, me can't breed. So let me just make you know that right now. I don't like it. I find it very condescending and very disrespectful. And I'm responding to it here because they can say whatever they want. People must understand. Listen, I'm 48 years of age. As in the eyes of young people, the whole of we all. The whole of we knee hurt, where we back hurt, where we can't do certain things, and who now dye them beard, I do whatever them want to do. I live my reality. And let me tell you, I'm a professional. The money, I work hard for my money. So I'm not dead as a beggar. I refuse to beg. I don't want nobody treat me less than, because the people of Portland Eastern voted for me. And I said that in my speech that media has not played or has not spoken about. And I don't have to address the speaker. This conversation is not about the Speaker of the House. This conversation is about lack of respect for opposition. Because you have some dirty mouth that says some horrible, filthy things regardless of race, class, age, culture. That is unacceptable. And I can tell you, none of them can speak to me like that. And if they do, I'm not going to respond like I'm a dog, like I'm a dirty dog or a dirty drunker. My parents never raised me so. And at no time you'll see me in the parliament disrespecting my colleagues. And I'm not going to go on record and go down in history long after this as somebody disrespectful to my colleagues who got their mandate, who the people of Jamaica love sufferation, so they voted for them. All I can do is, while I'm there, protect the people of Portland. Protect the people of Portland from the opposition constituencies. County Naga come near me out. Protect the people of Portland from the ministers and the other people, the government people them. That's my duty and my job. And I will say that the standing orders is far superior to some people that sit in that parliament.
Two things. He spoke after Dalrymple made a comment about a new breed, merely saying that the kind of behavior in the parliament, she has never seen it before. And she sent it to new people. She never said all of them, right? She singled out one of the members that she's talking about. And she said she has never seen the kind of disrespect and disregard for the speaker's ruling. And that the speaker's ruling must be respected. Then she referred to them as a new breed, right? A new generation. And when he spoke, he was not even 10% as energetic as this. This is a sign that this young fellow is a coward. Him come out in the parliament and he made a measured statement. He did not object to being called a new breed, even though she wasn't referring to him. And now here he is very energetic and objecting to being called a new breed and gone off on a tangent. You know, I can't breed. And start to talk about who his mother is and who his father is and what him is not or not. You're a damn new breed. What is all this fake indignation about? Huh? If there is a new breed, then there was an old breed. You are the new breed and she's of the old breed. What's the big deal?
That the standing orders is far superior to some people that sit in that parliament. Them can't read it, them cannot understand it, and they should sit with somebody who can tell them, so that they don't think that because they're on the government side, them can just brawl out them foot and say, you chat too much, shut up. You're not going to do me that. I don't care if you're disrespectful to the 10,000 constituents who vote for you because they're not no sense. I don't care if you're disrespectful to the 10,000 constituents who vote for you because they're not no sense.
I would never disrespect anybody in this house to say nobody have sense. I don't believe that. Remember what I said to you? In his mind and in his belief, saying that somebody don't have no sense is a disrespect. So when he spoke of the Laborites who voted for them candidates and put them in the house and said them don't have no sense, it is and was his intention to be disrespectful to the people. Voters, because them don't vote PNP, them don't have no sense. So what it is that make him believe that he can come on public station and disrespect the people of this country? Because the JLP voters are citizens too. The PNP voters are citizens too. And they have a right under the Constitution to vote who them want to vote for. And they are going to vote for who them think is best able to run the country. It is simply a matter of opinion. Some people say, are the Laborites are the best? Some people say, are the PNP are the best? And the risers them say, I feel them risers are the best. It is a matter of opinion. The PNP and the JLP are not supposed to be behaving like enemies. And this representative of the people is not supposed to be speaking like this about his opponents, Jamaican citizens. He can say anything he want about them MPs, them, they are equals. Him say what he want about them and them say what they want about him. But how dare he? This damn little pissing tail, me no know what. Because him is the son of big youth and think he can come chat and talk any way he want about the people of this country. You don't see him is damn out of order.
I'm not there to disappoint the people of Portland Eastern. So the conversation, and I will say her name, this conversation should never be about Nikisha Burchell. Never. And I'm rejecting that. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Right now, make the mirror answer that. But those who have eyes, they can see. And me can tell you, when me bathe and put on my clothes, come I don't like bathe. Me as a man, as a Rasta man, I don't like bathe. You see what I say? But it's when me bathe and put on my clothes and my expensive cologne and put on my shoes and me step up in the place, yeah, Parliament can't stall. That me I gotta tell you. And so when me nice and clean, I'm step up as a statesman. I'm not gonna make nobody draw me out. I will never do that. And I will never sit there and allow them to disrespect my colleagues and not get up and respond as the statesman I know I am. We are not children. You cannot bully me. You cannot bully my colleagues either. Did I like knocking the desk? No, because when I used to watch Parliament, the people who were knocking desks were idiots.
When I told you that him sounded irrational and was all over the place, how the hell him reach on himself? He was talking about the role of the parliament in the whole scheme of things, right? And then him jump and start to talk about the conversation should not have been about Nikisha Burchell. And he's not going to sit by and let anybody bully his colleagues. And yet he was in the parliament and he did nothing. He said nothing in defense of Nikisha Burchell. Matter of fact, it looked like he was beating her down more than anything else, even though he never called her name. Right? Then him gone now and I talk about mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? And then him depend himself when him bathe. You know, him not like bathe, and when him bathe and he put on him clothes, nobody in the parliament can step up to him. What the hell is that all about? And him say him is a man and he's 48 years old. He found it necessary to tell us that. Because apparently it's not very clear when listening to him that is what he is. He sounds like a child, quite unable to bridle his blasted tongue.
Well, anyway, so having said that, and I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about it. Because, like I say, if you want to, and I tell the members all the time, if you want to be a skettle and you have some carelessness in your way you want to get out, go up on TikTok. If you have a little bit more where you want to get up, go up on OnlyFans, man. It's there for you.
I have to ask.
You know, nobody come tell me about my juvenile conviction. Them and I come say, Marky G, have Isat over there. Come and do my time. And on a student loan, make me get my degree. And on a student loan, make me win my case. Them when you don't bright on yourself with me.
You heard him. You see the mentality of the man that is sitting in a parliament that is supposed to be trying to get votes for his party, that he's out there, the face of the party, a party that is dependent on votes in order to win election. And you hear the man talk about students loan people. What is wrong with students loan people? Students loan people are poor people who try to get a loan from the Students Loan Bureau and wherever else they can get the loan in order to further them education so that they can help themselves and them family. And you hear how the man style them. He never get him education through student loan. So what's wrong with that? It's certainly better than walking up and down, I'm sure, and selling cocaine for mash up people picnic. I'm sure you would agree with that. What the hell is wrong with this young fellow? And then him blustering and him getting windy and talking all kind of something outside of the parliament. And the risers, them might try to get off and back, you know. But them risers, I'm sure, won't bite. Know enough about them. Right? They don't forget what he did in the parliament and what he said. And as he continued to say on this, because you heard what he said, after him talking about him not going to allow this and him not going to allow that, then him talk about, I tell my colleagues that if them will have something inside of them, a little skettle thing about them, and then telling them where to go. And then tell them that they can go up on this other program, they can go up on Instagram, and then can go up on LinkedIn. Who him a talk? A Rhoda Crawford him a talk? Is Babsy Grange? Well, no, man, Babsy. No, Babsy not the new breed. Is Karenzi I'm talking? Is it Zulika Jess him talking? And no, it's not Natalie Nita I'm talking. Who is he talking? Are the same Nikisha Burchell him talking? It just come out because that is what he wants to say, and he don't know how to bridle his blasted tongue. And he end up saying the one thing that he never come out there to say. And give her all this advice. That if she have all this kettle thing inside her to come out, don't come into the parliament with it. That's what he's saying. If you want popularity, the parliament is not for it. And he's correct. He's not saying nothing wrong. He's not saying a thing that is wrong. The point is, though, that is not what him actually come out there to say. He come out there to say that him support Nikisha and him support him colleagues and him will defend them in the house. Of course, he never did. Right? And the reason why him not thump the desk is not because him not support him colleagues, is because him see people who thump desk as idiot and he don't want nobody to think him an idiot. That's the long and short of all he was saying. Can't bridle him tongue.
But what you won't get me to do, whether I'm the leader, whether I'm on the opposition side and the leader of opposition is entitled to take his position, yeah? But I have an internal locus of control and you can't gas me up. I am not a pawn on anybody's chessboard. I'm an independent thinker and I know right from wrong. And one thing I will tell you about my party leader is that he allows me to think for myself, to have mature consideration, offer advice, which he's free to take and reject. But one thing we're not gonna do is tell me, say, yes, we're gonna protest and Tuesday come is G-string day. And the Keisha got in the front and the rest of we come walk in. Yeah, and walking trophy I go play. Me, I don't idiot. And me definitely will not be seen as a yes man.
Now, folks, a whole heap of bombshell flying at this section here now. Bombshell of no mean order. And when I go through what he said, reading between the lines, because this part of what he said was clear enough to whoever he was sending the message to. He was sending a message. And the people who he must send a message to, he expected them to understand and them alone. But we are going to go through what I just said a while ago and read between the lines. What is he talking about? Of course, unlike what he was saying before and speaking in disjointed ways, he's now speaking in a coded language and he's speaking to a specific person. This was a message to somebody, right? He said, I have an internal locus of control, which means that he's his own man. He sets his own destiny. And you can't gas me up. You can't control me. I am an independent thinker and I know right from wrong. Whatever it is you don't want to involve him in, him did not think it was right. So you are not going to get him to participate in whatever it is that you know up to. And the one thing I can tell you about my party leader is that he allows me to think for myself and to have mature consideration. So his party leader would not have forced him to participate in something that him don't want to get involved in, which is very telling. Because for it to be true, it would mean that his party leader would have known what was up and very possibly was the one who was planning it. And then now, he went on to speak directly to the people who the message was intended for. And one thing we do not go do is tell me, yes, we are going to protest. And Tuesday come, a G-string day. And then we talk about who now is going to be leading this protest. And Nikisha are go in at the front. And the rest of we walking and walking trophy are go play. So Nikisha Burchell was the one who is supposed to have led the protest, and all the other MPs were told was that all them have to do is to follow her lead. Just follow her lead. So if we can believe the words of Isat Buchanan, what happened on Tuesday was not a simple course of events. It was an orchestrated plot. And Mark Golding was the center of it. It may not have been his idea, but based upon what Isat is saying, he knew about it. Think of the role that he played. And Philip Paulwell now turned out to have been the pawn. Did he know about this plot? I don't know. And I would be very surprised. But how was it that they managed to get him involved? He's a leader of opposition business. And they could not have known, I don't think they would have known, unless I asked the clerk, whether or not the matter of the Integrity Commission's annual report was set down to be tabled. But I don't think it mattered. Philip Paulwell would have been told to get up for some reason, right? And to stand on his feet. That is not Paulwell. I've never seen him behave this way before. Even Dalrymple was surprised. Paulwell would have known that the Integrity Commission's annual report was a nothing. There were so many other reports that were not tabled. Why pick on this one? I suspect that what happened was he was told to get up and ask about it. And when the speaker told him, when it comes to public business, we talk there, he was told not to sit down by him leader. Let Mark Golding come out and deny it. And then Operation G-String went into full force. Them start the protest, knocking on the desk, disrupting the house, disrupting the clerk as she was reading. We must be heard. We must be heard. That was what them wanted to be the headline, so that the whole of them can go up on social media, go talk about how the speaker prevent them from talking at the parliament. It was part of the plot. And up to that point, it worked. Where did it fall down? When the House began the discussion on the standing orders and the amendment to the standing orders. That was when it started to fall apart. And the first person who got up on his feet and spoke was Nestor Morgan. And he was criticizing Philip Paulwell for his actions and the protests that they led. Robert Nestor Morgan's comments were so cutting that they must have feared that he would have stolen the headlines. And if they didn't do something about it, it would be them. It would look bad on in the press. It necessitated Mark Golding to change his speech. That is why he looked so hot under the collar. And that was why he started the way he started. He has to first defend them and then now turn the attention, he hoped, to the speaker and what he called her unfairness in the way she's treating them. And then he went on about the Integrity Commission's report, as if to say it was something so big. The Integrity Commission's report is just about them, what they've done throughout the year. How many persons they hired, how many persons left, the remarks by the chairman, the remarks by the executive director, and how many statutory declarations that they had examined, how many persons for illicit enrichment. Is just the annual report. What was so important about it that it could not be tabled the following week? It was an excuse. But that was not only what turned the whole plot on its head. What turned the plot on its head was when Marissa Dalrymple Philibert stood on her feet and called out Nikisha by name, the member of South St. James, and criticized her. She then became the news and not the speaker. When Nikisha became the subject of the bad behavior, and one after the other they got up hinting, and none of our members on fair side nor protect her, that was when the whole Dolly House mash up. And she now became the subject of the bloggers out there and the news. And then Isat Buchanan, he went out because them send the bloggers after him. And he mashed up the whole thing when he got up and spoke in the parliament and fling Nikisha further under the bus. So them send the bloggers after him. He came out now on Perry's program to defend his decision and say what he need to say. And then, right towards the end, he dropped this gem as a message to them, not thinking that we would have been able to figure it out. Decode it like how the British and the Americans decoded the Enigma. Yes, man. So that is what them take our parliament for. Our parliament is not there for the people's business. Our parliament is there to further their political agenda. In the parliament, then carry them plots to undermine the business of the parliament. So our business cannot be heard in order to score cheap political points. These are the same people who organize the protests on foreign soil, right? Have the people over there talk about the hospital and crime and all them something. They're hoping that the foreign press would pick it up. And if they had, they were hoping that the tourists would see the headlines and say to themselves, but I'm not coming to that place. The tourism numbers would have turned down. And then they would have something to campaign on during the election, because the only thing the government had going for it is the economy. And just as that Machiavellian master stroke had flopped. So did this protest too. It flopped and exposed by one of them own. Talk about justice. That is justice. Uno own expose uno. And in the process, expose him own leader. And that is justice. Yes. Well, folks, I'm going to wrap it up now. I want to thank everyone for joining me today. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section. Until next time, take very good care of yourselves and walk good.